Now I'll take you back to that breaking story. The 45 ministers whose nominations were confirmed by the Senate last week have been assigned portfolios. In a list released by the presidency, former Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, you can see the list now. Bosun Tijani is now in charge of communications, innovation and digital technology. Isiaka Salako is now Minister of State, Environment and Ecological Management, while they're doing Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy. Bumi Tunjiojo, Minister for Marine and Blue Economy. Adebayo Adelabu, Minister of Power. Tunji allows Health and Social Welfare. Dele Alake, Solid Minerals Government, Mineral Development. Lola Adejon, in charge of Tourism. Adegboyega Oyetola, in charge of Transportation. Doris Uzoka Anite, Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment. Uche Naji, Innovation, Science and Technology. Nkiruka Onyejocha, Minister of State, Labor and Employment. Well, you can go to our website, arise.tv, and catch up with more on that. Now, speaking generally, leadership has three main features. Leadership as an attribute of position, characteristic of a person, and even categories of behavior. Tonight, we'll look at grassroots leadership and how it is an essential factor in leadership in Nigeria. In Nigeria, the grassroots have a lot of challenges confronting them, ranging from poverty, literacy, lack of potable water, good roads, and poor healthcare delivery system, you name it. Well, this is not unrelated to years of rural neglect or into the urban bias of government that prioritizes major cities and urban centers to the detriment of the rural areas. But it is time to pay attention to the grassroots, as it is the birthplace of any government and even the individuals. It is the engine room of what works. We're taking a look at the importance of grassroots governance, and our focus tonight is Edo State, which interestingly is gearing up for its local government elections on September 2. Perhaps it doesn't look like that is buzzing for now, but we had to make it buzz and say on that story. The elections will be held across the 18 local government areas, and it is a time when the people of the state will decide who will steer the local affairs in the state. I'm joined in the studio by someone who is active in politics at the grassroots, Onaghise Daniel-Ero, who is a member of the Labour Party in Edo State. Good to see you, and thanks for your time.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
You know, time was when we grew up back in the day. If you ever saw some features in the drama series, The Village Headmaster, some of the most important people there in that cast were councillors, like Councillor Balogun. They were so important to the extent that people knew that that's what grassroots governance is about. Paint for us a picture of what grassroots governance or democracy is, as being, you know, noticed or observed by you.
Thank you for having me. I think for me, the grassroots level is a very important level when it comes to politics, because I think that's the closest government to the people that actually, you know, touch on some areas, key areas that affect the people. You know, these are areas that even the state government or the federal government might necessarily not be able to attend to, but the grassroots is always there because they are closer to the people and they know what the people feel. They feel the impulse because they are very close to them. So I think it's a very key organ, a very important organ in governance when it comes to the grassroots level. But over the years, I think it has been neglected greatly, and that is why we are where we are today. And for me, I feel it would be so important for everyone to divert their attention to the grassroots and see how we build from there if we must develop Nigeria. Yeah.
If we must develop Nigeria, because that must be done. I recall in your state when some councils were created back in the day, Ikpoba local government and some other local governments, and there was this buzz. But again, how has that affected the lives and productivity in these council areas?
For me, I don't think there's really much that the local council has done in the life of the people, especially in Edo State. Take, for example, I want to look at my own local government. Over the years...
What's your local government?
Oredo local government. I am from Oredo local government. And good enough, I'm also contesting in that local government currently. You understand? I think local government... Yeah, I'm contesting as the chairman of Oredo local government in the next election.
Oredo is
that's Benin City, the heartbeat, yeah, okay. The heart of Edo State. Over the years, I think what they've done is contract the local government council to an individual. I think that is why we've not been seeing much of development in the local government. Yes, they were created, but they were neglected, and whatever government that comes on board chooses to either contract it to an individual as a way of trying to settle an individual for whatever reason they have, you understand. And at that level, nobody is able to question them. They do whatever it is they want to do. They can wake up in the morning and tell you, you are going to be paying taxes on this, on that, and nobody is going to question anybody for that.
But that's not the issue, because people must pay taxes. But the crux now will be what's being done with those levies and taxes.
No, it's normal for you to pay taxes. But when it becomes multiple taxation, it becomes a problem. And aside the fact that you're going to pay your tax, when you don't get good result for paying taxes, it becomes a problem also. Now, we are not saying you shouldn't pay taxes. You should. It is right. It's your right to pay taxes. Yes, we know. But when you pay it regularly without getting results, it becomes a problem. And I think that is what has led to poverty level in the local council. You understand? Because for example, I own a business, a very small business at that, and I pay taxes as high as 50%. How do I survive it? At the local level. And even if I'm paying at that, I still don't get results for whatever I'm paying for. So it becomes a problem. And on that note, you are either taking me back, you are making me retrogress instead of progressing. And that is not the essence of creating the local government. So I think that is what we've been facing. A lot of it, even if you go to the health sector, you see it. Ordinarily, it is the right of the people at the local level to have access to good primary health care. But when you check the records, especially in my own local government, we have primary health care centers in my local government. For example, we have 12 wards in Oredo. In Ward 2, we have 2 primary health care centers. But they are not functional. You understand? These are issues. So when you have little problem, you run down to the hospital, either the general hospital or you run down to the teaching hospital. And most of these persons at the grassroots level, they don't have those kind of money to access such healthcare system. But the local government council is supposed to create this and allow them to access it at a very minimal amount. But this is what we've not been experiencing over the years.
Listening to you, it's mark of deja vu. I've heard this before, especially from those who are interested in running the affairs of local councils. And by the time they're done, within the first, I think, 3 years. 3 years. They become so comfortable leaving the council in a very, bad situation. So what are those things you have observed that is really wrong in local government administration?
One of it, for me, like you rightly said, you said some persons have said this before, and when they get into office, they leave there, they become so comfortable, and the council deteriorates. But for me, I think what they've done over the years is selection, not election. I think we're about to have a very standard election come September 2nd. That is if the bodies involved, the regulatory bodies, are going to allow a level playing field. You understand? Because what they've done over the years is selection. If I am the governor of the state, I wake up, I pick one individual and tell him, go and manage this local government council for me. Whatever I tell you to do, that is what you do. So it's more like I am contracting it to you as a way of settling you for whatever you have done to me, either to help me in one way or the other during my elections and all that. Now, whoever is sitting there does his own thing. He doesn't report to anybody. Nobody questions him. So at the end of the day, we remain where we are. But this time around, I think it's going to be different because we're going to be having a standard election. Like I said before, if the regulatory body, which is EDSEC, in case of Edo State, will allow a level playing field for an election.
But you just already told me about your optimism that it's going to be different this time. Perhaps that's why you're running.
Yeah.
So this optimism, does it resonate with other political parties in the state and other candidates?
Yeah, currently we have 3 political parties, major political parties in the state who are running in this election. And I think the same idea I have is what they have. But most times, the ruling party are always comfortable. You understand? I would not want to go into details of reasons why they are more comfortable, you understand? But they are always comfortable because they believe they are the ruling party, and whatever they want, they get. You understand? For example, this election coming up 2nd of September is just 17 days away. And the people are not aware that there's an election. It's funny. 17 days to an election, the general populace of Oredo local government, for example, which is my local government, they are not aware that there's an election. So while I am going for campaign, first of all, I have to inform them, try to orient them that there is an election coming up before I will now sell my manifesto to you to vote for me. So it's disheartening.
It's strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
The people are unaware.
Unaware that there's an election.
The council election is coming.
Yes.
And you say you have 3 major political parties in the state.
Yes.
It looks like the parties haven't actually done proper sensitization and voter education.
That is on the part of ESSEC, who happens to be the regulatory body and who happens to be the body that will conduct this particular election. I think that now they should have engaged in voter education, sensitization, more publicity to let the people know that there's an election coming up. But for me, I think it's deliberate because they want to create this atmosphere of, okay, voter apathy, you know, so people don't come out, and at the end of the day, just like it has always been, they'll do whatever it is they want to do, probably manipulate the results. And I think the other parties are feeling a bit quiet because it has always been the trend over the years. They feel local government election, whatever party of the day is in power as a governor will always take over the 18 local governments, take over the 192 wards. But this time around, we are trying to come out and tell the people that it's not going to be like that.
And when you speak to them, how excited?
Yeah, the feedback is positive, I must tell you. It's very, very positive. And sometimes when I go out to campaign, I tell them, hey, there's an election coming up 2nd of September, and I tell you, which election? Like, you begin to wonder, you mean you are not aware there's an election? You say, we're not aware. Then I'll have to start preaching to them. There's an election. This is the closest government to you. You have to be involved. If you want to better your life, you have to come out on that very day and cast your vote. Before I will now tell them, oh, you have to vote for Labour Party. I am from Labour Party. This is my name and all that.
Thank you very much.
No, sorry, I have to say that, but I'm very sorry about that.
No, you don't need to be sorry, but I just need to cut you there because we're out of time. Okay. I wish you well.
Yeah, yes, thank you very much.
I wish the people will get this really up there about the importance of grassroots governance and democracy. Onaghise Daniel-Ero.
Yes,
I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. It's goodbye and many thanks for watching. I'll see you again.